Hi Year 2. So it's our last science lesson and we've crammed loads in this 2 weeks. So the last lesson we're looking at is food chains. And then what you might want to do after this lesson is go back to those test questions you had at the start and see if you've learned anything new. Hopefully you have. So the aim of the lesson is I can use a food chain to show how animals get their food. And we sort of started talking about food chains yesterday, about dependency and how everyone needs everyone. So, just reminding us about Mrs. Gregg, what things we need for the life processes to tell if something is living. Okay. Nutrition is about food. All living things need food to survive. Food gives living things energy, which they can use to carry out the other life processes like moving and growing. Green plants make their own food using sunlight, water, and air. Animals are not able to make their own food. So, how do animals get food? Some animals get them from plants. These animals are called herbivores. Maybe have a think if you can think of any herbivores. Can you think of some of the different things they could eat? These are herbivores, okay? And we have done this before, haven't we, on our Science Knowledge Day? And these are the things they eat. Some animals get their food from eating other animals. These animals are called carnivores. Can you think of some carnivores? I think I might be one. Can you think of some of the different things they could eat? These are carnivores. These are the animals that are carnivores. Some animals get their food from eating plants and some other animals. These animals are called omnivores. Oh, I think I'm an omnivore too because I like both of these. These animals are omnivores and these are the things we might eat. Are humans herbivores, carnivores, or omnivores? Well, what do we eat? We eat a mix, don't we? A food chain shows how each animal gets its food. Food chains are one of the ways that living things depend on each other to stay alive. So let's have a little look at this clip then.
What is a food chain? All living things, including humans, animals, and plants, need energy to live. But where do they get their energy from? The answer is easy. All living things get their energy from food. Plants make their own food with the help of sunlight, air, and water. Animals and humans don't produce their own food, so they need to eat plants or other animals to get energy and survive. They are all part of a food chain. A food chain shows how plants and animals depend on each other as their source of food. For instance, a caterpillar eats plants, mice eat caterpillars, and owls eat mice. They're a perfectly simple food chain. And we can see food chains happening underwater too. Algae is eaten by small fish. Small fish are eaten by bigger fish. And bigger fish are eaten by sea lions, who are then eaten by sharks. There are lots of different food chains taking place around us, but food chains usually start with a plant and finish with a big, hungry animal. Like me.
Okay, so you might want to go back when you're doing your worksheet and watch that bit again because your worksheet is exactly that today, making your own food chain. So you've got the video to go back and have a look at. So what is a food chain? This arrow in a food chain means it's eaten by. Can you name which animal is eating which in the food chain? So we've got a caterpillar, which should be eating grass. So the bird is going to eat the caterpillar, the cat is going to eat the bird. Okay. Each food chain starts with a green plant. Green plants are called producers because they produce their own food. Makes sense, doesn't it? All animals are called consumers because they consume their food by eating plants and other animals. Animals that eat other animals are called predators. The animals that they eat are called their prey. So you often see birds flying away from cats, and that's why, isn't it? Because they don't want to be eaten. There are food chains in all kinds of habitats. So you can see these ones. Again, you might want to pause the video when you do your worksheet and have a look. Use these living things to draw a food chain on your whiteboards. Now, you're not going to do it on your whiteboard. You're going to do it on your worksheet in your pack that looks like that, okay? So I want you to have a go at drawing your own food chain and writing the habitat where you'd find them, okay? So that will be your work today. I'll just go back to where we were up to and just check we've met all the points. Okay. Oh, finally, the last one. Once you've done, or we could do it now actually and then do your work. Rearrange these living things to make 2 food chains. So there's 2 food chains there. Could you maybe pause the video and have a look what would eat what? Remember, it always starts with the plant, okay? Have a go. And then enjoy doing your worksheet here too.